All right, guys, so bear with me. I'm in my bedroom and I'm gonna be showing you how I designed the floor for my garage. Using blueprint for my house, I know that my floor in the garage is 12 by 22. So let's jump in and design our Swisstrax floor. So let's do some wall-to-wall, rectangular shape, and then in here, you can just drag this. So mine is about 12 and then about 22. And I like to give a couple extra inches so that way I know I'm going to have enough materials at the end. I am sticking with Ribtrax Pro, and for colors we did pearl gray for our whole floor, and then we did a inner ring of black. And so when you do your design here, you can do a single tile or you can do a fill. So if I do fill, what we did was I basically made the whole thing and I switched the color back to pearl gray and I did fill again and I went one more tile in and I ended up with my ring. And that just made the most sense to me to do this as quickly as possible. If your garage is whatever shape, you can add little outlets and stuff like that here in the designer, but I'm working with a simple rectangular shape and they have cool stuff here where you can add in if you have cabinets or something, what that's going to look like. So you can visualize it, and then if you go into the 3D view, you can kind of see what it's going to look like and stuff. And I think that's pretty neat. Anyway, let's move on. And then if you go to checkout, boom, they have set this all up for you with what you need for that design that you just made, which is really cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's jump over to the garage.
So here we are. This is the garage that we're going to be doing today. Really excited to get this done. First thing I want to show you guys though, when you order your Swisstrax and they finally get delivered, let me show you what you can kind of expect so you're not too shocked when you get yours. In both sets that I've ordered, they came in boxes that had tears, punctures. You know, I don't know if this stuff happens in shipping or if it happens at the factory, but both orders of mine came like this, and I don't love that, but they also were fine on the inside. And then if you look on the box here, you can see that they come with a sticker that tells you what color you have. So this one's the gray. I've got a couple boxes that are the jet black that we're gonna be using for the two sets of colors that we have for the pattern. And that's it, you get them, they come in bundles, you gotta cut the banding off, it's super easy. So let's go ahead and grab a bundle and get started over here in this garage, and we'll see how long it takes us to get this done. So I'm gonna be starting for my pattern, as you guys saw, with the pearl gray ones, which I really like this color. And the way that I'm gonna be installing these is we're gonna be going with the female ends back and away from the wall that we're starting, because our ramps are gonna fit on the male ends of the front here. Now, if you look at the foot of my garage, Brody, if you can get down here and see this, this is the problem I had on the other one. We have this drop off right here. And when I put the ones all the way on the back, it pushed the lip over the drop off, and that was causing our kick up issue. So I'm gonna be a little more sensitive to where I put this first one, because I want the ramp to end. I'm gonna give myself about half an inch before this drop off so that hopefully we don't have any issues in this garage. So let's ceremoniously lay down our first tile here, and I think I'll put it here. What do you think, Brody? Do you like that?
Looks great.
All right, let's get rocking and rolling. So I've laid down the first row of tiles here, and the way that we chose to do our pattern, as you saw, was we did an outer perimeter of single rows of the pearl gray, one inner perimeter ring of the jet black, and then filling in the center with gray. So make sure you're watching your pattern as you go, so you don't just start getting mechanical and going through the process and realize you missed your shot to start installing your different colored tile depending on the pattern that you chose. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this one, but I've already noticed we have one sort of tricky situation. Brody, can we get a shot of this over here? We've got like an inch to work with over here that we have to fill. So I'm not worried, but I'm wondering, once we cut the tile later, if I'm even gonna have enough room to put a tile over here that's gonna fit. So we'll see where we end up with the back of the garage, but over here, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get little slim rails of tile in there. So we'll see if that becomes a problem later. But for now, I'm just gonna keep going with the pattern as planned. Pay attention to what you're doing. Don't miss your shot. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to lay tiles. What they tell you in the instructions, and if you saw my last video, I'd listen. When you are 3 rows in to setting your Swisstrax up, they want you to put it towards the front of the garage and place it where it's gonna stay. So I'm gonna use this opportunity to go ahead and put on the ramps and then slide the thing forward. So I'll throw the first ramp on, and to do that, you have to lift up on the front here, line it up, and then like I've been doing with the rest of them, step on them. And then I'll get a good look at where I'm at here, and I'm gonna try. We haven't set this up, we haven't tried this, a test run of this, so we're gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna try to slide the thing forward about to where I want it. That's pretty easy. At this point, that's pretty easy, but later, too much. After all this is installed, we're not gonna be able to move it. You can see I've given myself that little, tip of my index finger room for error here, and I'm gonna go ahead and run the rest of the ramps over. I'm gonna monitor this as we go the rest of the way and make sure I'm not getting creep. Creep is when, you sort of drift away from the target. And so I'm gonna make sure we're not creeping towards the lip here, and hopefully this garage won't have any issues. All right, my young cameraman Brody asked me a question if I own any cryptocurrency. And we do own a little bit of one. I'm not gonna go into it, but it's fine, we enjoy it. And it's really not how we make our money or anything. But he asked me about, when stocks take a major dip, is that a good buying opportunity? And there's 2 things. This is not financial advice, but there's 2 things that I've learned in my experience with money and investing. One, when a big stock takes a major dip, it can be a great opportunity to get in. And I'll tell you a little story about that. Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers. You know the name? They almost were bankrupt in 2015. And I was deployed overseas to Iraq. And when we were there, we got big into investing. And so I thought we were checking the markets every day, like watching, buying, selling, shouting at each other. And so I said, Weight Watchers, that's too big of a name to fail, I'm gonna use this opportunity to jump in there. And I invested, $5,000 in Weight Watchers. And my buddy sat next to me every day in our office, and he said, I talked to my dad, he's a financial guy, you're throwing your money away, get out of Weight Watchers as soon as possible. And I took his advice. A week later, Oprah bought like 50% of Weight Watchers, and it went up, about 10 times what I bought into it for, 20 times what I bought into it for. So I lost the opportunity to make all that money. I made a little bit of money, but I could have made like $100,000 off my investment. I didn't make anything like that. Later, GoPro, same situation, tanked. And I'm like, GoPro, too big to fail. Once it was $90, now it's $20. What a great buying opportunity. As we sit here today, it's worth $1. So there is no exact right or wrong way to look at it. So be careful with your investments. One thing you can always invest in though is real estate and home improvement. When you invest in home improvement, it's like putting the money in the bank of your house, okay? Real estate's a great investment, and it's been the most worthwhile investment of my entire life. And that's why I love doing these home improvement projects, because it's like you invest in it, but it's just like putting the money back into your pocket in the form of a house. So can't go wrong there. You can see me stepping on these. Once they're aligned in their little slots, that's a great way to click them down into place. Just make sure that they are aligned so you don't cause any damage. And then you'll notice as you walk on your floor as it's getting finished, you'll hear a little clicking and popping of these things settling into place. And that, I believe, is normal. Once you get into a rhythm, it's just the same motion over and over again. You might want to wear a back brace or some knee pads depending on your physical condition. If you're prone to lower back pain or aching joints or anything, you might want to think about it because it's a ton of up and down. Think just every one of these every time you lay one down, or every time you need to get another package or something like that. But it's a pretty smooth process, and I even kind of enjoy it. We're about to be at the end here, and I'm gonna be closing off the back of the pattern. So just make sure you pay attention as you're coming around and realize when you only have room for one last tile behind you. And you can, if you want to, you can build, once you have a couple rows done, all the way to the back of your garage or something like that, and you'll have no problem filling in the gaps in the center. As long as you don't close them in entirely, because then you'll have to be lifting some up, sliding some under, all that. As long as you work from your far edge where you've initially started, and then in from there, you can go either direction, latitude or longitudinally, and you should be fine. So I'm gonna close off the black tiles here, put the last row of gray in the back there, and then what we're gonna do is start measuring for what we need to cut. I can already see some places that we're gonna need to get a little creative, and I'll explain that here in a minute, but let's keep it moving. We've filled up the garage with the full tiles, as many as will fit. So now to trim around the edges, we're gonna have to cut. So I've got my tape measure. The way that we're gonna do this is measure from the back wall to the end of the tile here. And we'll kind of see, depending on how square your room is and how square your tiles are, if that distance is equal along the length of these. So if I start here, looks like I'm working with 4 1/4 inches. So I'm gonna leave some room. So I might go 3 3/4 inches on my cut. And let's see if that is true everywhere. So that's only, from here it's only, about 4 1/4. 4 1/4. And about 4 1/4. So I'll probably settle on 3 3/4 and leave myself a 1/2 inch to fit in the back there. And I'll test it after my first cut. But take it from me, from having done this before, the very first thing I'm gonna do is abandon all faith in my ability to remember how these things are set up. Because when I go to cut them, I need to be very careful that I cut the correct side that still leaves me hooks. So these go like this. So this is the end towards the door of the garage. This is the end towards the back. So when I cut these, I'm gonna wanna cut it down here like this. To remember this, I'm gonna take one of these tiles and I'm gonna put it on the ground underneath my saw in the orientation that I need it to be, so I can constantly use it as a reference tile when I set up the saw, which I'm gonna go do right now, and I'll see you over there. We're set up here to start making cuts. And what I've done, Brody, if you can come over here. First of all, you're gonna need some kind of cutting tool. A hand saw is gonna be a real pain in the butt. So if you have a miter saw or a table saw or something like that, you're gonna be a lot better off. So I'm using a miter saw today. What I've done is I've used a piece of blocking wood right here, and I've measured it out so that all my cuts can be at about 3 3/4 inches. And then down on the ground there, I've got my reference tile, so I know that I need to put all of these up here just like this in order to have them aligned correctly. Because I don't trust myself. You don't want to make those mistakes. You don't want to run out of tiles because you made a little careless flippy floppy there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting these. Brody will get some shots of that. And I'm gonna be wearing my safety glasses because this is gonna send small micro plastic shards flying everywhere, and I don't wanna get those in my eye, and I hope you don't either. So, I used to say safety last to have a blast, but in this case, we're gonna do safety first. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna do one, we'll take it over, put it down, make sure that it looks good, and from there, we'll cut the rest. I think we need about 8. So let's get going, let's get that cracking, and we'll see how we can wrap this project up. One other thing before I make my first cut here is try to be using a blade that has a lot of teeth, like an 80, 90 tooth blade. Since you're cutting plastic here, you're gonna wanna get those fine cuts. You're not gonna wanna use a 30 or 40 tooth blade, probably that comes with your saw, because that's gonna be for like, scrap wood and, framing and stuff like that, where it doesn't need to be so clean. But a nice high tooth blade is gonna be what you want here. I'm actually gonna have to make 2 cuts because my blade just misses. So I'll make the first cut and then we'll go back and we'll flip this thing over and then finish it off. And I'll show you the final product. Always let your blade come to a complete stop before pulling it out. And you can see what I've got here after I pull a few shards off is a pretty clean cut. So let's go put this thing down and see if it looks like what we were hoping it would. All right, let's see what it looks like. We'll put it down here. My goal was to leave a little tiny gap behind the tile in the wall. I think that looks pretty good. Nice. Okay, that looks awesome. Come look at this. I'm in a little bit of a pinch. I honestly don't think that there's enough room in here for me to run a row of tiles the length of the garage from front to back. But I do have this great larger gap near the door here. And I'm gonna put some there, and what that's gonna do is it should prevent any lateral shifting of these. And I measured this, and we've got about 6.5 inches here. So I'm gonna cut these down to 6 1/4, and we should be in business. So I'll check back in with you guys and we'll see how this turns out. So I cut the pieces over there by the door, came out great, got that done. And now the very last thing that I'm gonna do is, what I want is, I don't want this entire tile slipping forwards when vehicles are driving on it. So I'm gonna take another fresh tile and I'm going to cut a piece that's just gonna go from here to the front end of the garage here. I'm gonna end it here, and then I'm gonna cut my ramp so that the ramp covers the rest of the way. We'll do that really quick, and then this project will be all done. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We're all done. It came out great. I'm really enjoying the Swisstrax stuff. Before I go, really quick, I wanted to give you guys an update on the other garage, because we were having that issue where they kick up. Basically, my wife and I drive two very different vehicles. We swapped places. Every time I drove over it, I was kicking it up. My wife's car does not kick it up, so we just swapped places. It's not the greatest, most perfect solution in the world. I don't love it, but we haven't had one single issue since then. I'm very happy to say that the Swisstrax in this garage looks great also, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out and the ease of installing it. I'm gonna be moving everything in here and getting this garage set up so we can actually use it. We've lived in this house for about 6 months now. It's time we start, really getting comfortable. Thanks for watching that video. If you haven't already, consider hitting the subscribe button for more DIY home improvement videos. Any questions about Swisstrax, leave them in the comments down below. I look forward to talking to you guys soon. That's it for now.